Now, if you're one of those people thinking, how come today people are actually suffering from chronic diseases, not like before, or you're just one of those people that wants to be really, really healthy, now this video is for you. Hi guys, my name is Simon, and today what I'm going to share with you is how amazing product actually changed my life and my family's life a couple of years ago. A little bit of background. My mother's a diabetic patient, and my father actually suffered from high blood pressure for a long time. So I was looking for a solution to all these chronic diseases that's been hitting my family. And a good friend of mine, couple years ago, introduced to me a machine that is from Japan that produces a very special water that helps people with multiple conditions. Now, I've actually went online and also talked to many dietitians, many nutritionists, and even doctors on how come people are suffering from various diseases. And they told me one simple thing. They said, Simon, your body is made of 70% water. So if you take care of those 70%, your body takes care of itself. I was very interested on the concept, and I started talking to my friend that introduced me to the water, and I recently got in touch with a company that produces machines that produces a very special and healthy water. Now the company I'm talking about is a company called Enagic that produces something called the Kangen water machines. Today, what I'm going to share with you is basically how drinking Kangen water actually helps your human body in terms of recovery and being at its optimum position. Now, the Kangen water has three very special properties that I'd like to share with you today. Now, the first property of the Kangen water is what we call the antioxidation. Now, what is antioxidants? Now, before we talk about anti, let's just talk about oxidation. Now, oxidation is basically the aging process. Now, has this happened to you before? You buy a fresh apple, you cut it in half, you leave it on your kitchen counter. After a couple of minutes, what happens? It turns brown. So oxidation are actually caused by free radicals all around our environment. And in today's world, free radicals are more abundant compared to the world that we live in decades ago. So there's a lot of oxidation in our environment today, causing a lot of sickness in our lives. Now, what Kangen water does, it actually gives our body amounts of antioxidation so we can actually neutralize all these harmful free radicals. All right? So what I'm going to share with you in this slide is a very simple way to determine whether water that is oxidizing, which is bad, or antioxidizing, which is actually very good. So on your left, you'll actually see a positive oxidation reduction potential. For short form, we call it ORP. So if it shows a positive reading on a high positive, it means the water or the food or the liquid is actually oxidized. It means the more you take things on the positive side, the more it actually oxidizes the body. Now we want to only take things on the negative side, the negative ORP. Negative ORP basically means that water or liquid or food actually has a lot of antioxidants. And today I'm going to share with you basically what kind of water that we're drinking today and which side of the chart is it actually on. So here on this table, we have a couple samples of water I'd like to share with you on the different types of water we drink and how it actually impacts our life. Now here, first of all, we have the tap water. We have a couple samples of bottled water brought from the local grocery store. We have sparkling water, which I know a lot of people love to drink, and things like your soft drinks, right? 7-Up per se. And right here, we have what we call the Kangen water, came out fresh from the Kangen machine. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to pour out some tap water into the cup. Here would be a bottled water. Second type of bottled water. Let's see, this brand. Some people love to drink this brand, some here. And so a lot of you out there, some people who enjoy sparkling, gassy drinks. We're going to test that as well. So here we have sparkling water. Okay. And here we have people's all-time favorite, soft drinks or carbonated drinks with sugar. And right at the end, the star of the show, the Kangen water. Okay. Now, as we recently discussed, water that has a positive ORP actually means oxidizing. Negative ORP, it means it has antioxidants. So how do we tell? Just by looking at the water samples, we can't actually tell which water is oxidized, which water has antioxidants. So what do? scientists actually came up with a machine that's actually able to tell you whether water is good for you or bad for you. So let me introduce to you to a ORP redox monitor. Now what this machine does, when I turn it on and I put the probe into the water, it's going to actually tell you based on the reading that if it shows a positive reading, it means the water is oxidized. If it shows a negative reading, it means the water has antioxidants. Now let's test the first bottled water. Now first of all, we have your regular tap water, and it shows a positive ORP of 190. It means the water is already oxidized, right? And here we go to our second one, which is the bottled water. You will see, same thing, even crossing the 200 mark. This is your regular bottled water. Second bottled water, same thing. So generally, bottled waters will show a very high positive ORP. Take a look at this, over 200 ORP. It means these waters that you're currently drinking, they're actually oxidized already. Now let's test your sparkling water. Oh my God, take a look at this. Almost 300, 290 over ORP. This is your sparkling water. Take a look at this. It's really oxidizing. Soft drinks, oh gosh, over 300 ORP, right? So who are the biggest drinkers of sports drinks today or carbonated drinks? Young kids. And this is why people nowadays have been suffering from many diseases because of the high ORP that these kind of waters actually have. Now let's test our last one, which is the Kangen water. As you can see, once I put the probe into the water, you will immediately see a negative 500 over ORP. So what is negative 500 ORP means? It actually means this water has high amounts of antioxidants. Now there's a choice. You can either continue, based on what you've seen, you can either continue with drinking water that is oxidizing, aging your body, causing sickness, or you can actually come over to start drinking the Kangen water that actually has antioxidants protecting your body from all these harmful free radicals all around us. So this is why Kangen water provides your body with the best antioxidants. So now we learn on the first property of the water, which is antioxidants. Let's look at the second property of the water, which is what we call alkalization of water. Now, in this chart I'm going to show you right here, we actually have a very simple pH chart. Now, a pH chart simply measures whether a liquid is acidic, bad for you, or alkaline, good for you. So why acidic is bad? Have you heard of people with acid reflux, uric acid? A lot of chronic diseases are actually caused by overly acidity buildup in the body. That's why many doctors have actually recommended to be on the alkaline side to be healthy. So nowadays we actually take care of our food that we eat, but what about the water that we actually drink, which is 70% of our body? Now let's look at the samples of water that I have here. Now, how do we tell whether water is on the acidic side or on the alkaline side? Now today I have my friend here. It's called a very simple pH tester. Now what this pH tester does, it actually shows you what pH the water is actually at. So you can see it's a red color fluid, but once I drop it into the water samples, it starts to change color according to which side is it on, as explained in the chart. Now, I'm going to open this up, and we're going to actually put a couple drops into all the water samples, and you will see a drastic change in color. Number one is your regular filtered tap water. All right, I'm just going to stir it. Okay. Now here we have your bottled water. Give it a good stir. You can see colors start to change once the red color fluid is put inside. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Now let's take a look at your sparkling or soda water. What color does it show? It actually shows a acidic color, which is orange or reddish. Let's take a look at your soft drinks. Take a look at this. And lastly, we put this into the Kangen water. Now, as you can see, those all waters gave different types of colors. Now, let's take a look at your tap water. Now, tap water always shows a middle or neutral color, bluish to green color. Reason being, tap water is regulated. It always has to maintain a certain pH. And all these three bottled waters are what we call mineral water. So water is filtered by these companies, and later minerals are added into the water to bring the pH to a minimum or slightly on the alkaline side, right? So these are your general bottled water, right? And as you can see here, these are your soft drinks that actually has a acidic pH. And let's not even talk about this. Take a look at this. Really, really acidic stuff. And the only one on all these samples that actually has an alkaline, healthy pH is none other than the Kangen water itself, right? Now, if you know someone or you yourself, you're suffering from chronic diseases, overly acidity in the body, and you're wondering how this water is actually going to help you to change the way your body actually works or being healthy. Now, let's say you drink this Kangen water on a regular basis. Take a look what it does to your body. I'm just going to pour some water into all the samples and you see what actually happens in the cup itself. Kangen water into regular tap water. You actually see that the color and the pH of the water starts to change into an alkaline color. This is what we call alkalization of the body, bringing your body back to where it actually is from. Now take a look at this. I'm just going to put some into the soda. Oh no. I'm going to put some into your soft drinks. Take a look at that. I put a little bit into all this and changed into alkaline color. However, when I put it into these guys, nothing really changed. Now let me share with you why this didn't change. Now, let's say today you said, okay, I want to be on the alkaline side. However, I still like to drink my soda once in a while. So okay, you said, I'm going to drink one sip of soda. I'm going to share with you what one sip of soda actually does to your body. Now let's say you're very healthy, you're right here, but you start drinking soda, just one sip. One sip into all these samples of alkaline solutions, and what happens? Straight back to acid. Now, don't believe me? Highly diluted soda, healthy body, straight back to acid. Now what I've shown you here is very simple. Now I know the colors changing are like a magic show, it's very interesting. But the underlying factor about this property is this. A lot of diseases are created here. And a lot of people try to prevent diseases from happening or make their body healthy, and it only starts from here. So whatever that I've shown you here today, it's a choice that you want to make for yourself. Would you want to put your body or your family's body in an acidic environment, disease, or would you want to change the environment to an alkaline, healthy environment? It's your choice. So this is what the Kangen water alkalization actually helps you in terms of your health. Now let's look into the last property of this amazing Kangen water. It's none other than something we call microclustering. Now microclustering may be very unfamiliar to most of us out here, but it simply means that the water that we drink has two sizes. They are the big waters and they are actually the small waters. Now what are the difference? Have you actually experienced this before? Drinking a lot of water at once and you feel very bloated. That's because you're actually drinking big water. Now big water is actually very hard to be absorbed by the body because the H2O clusters are all stick together in very big clusters. Now what the Kangen machine does, after electrolysis, it breaks down the clusters of the water to much tinier molecules. So it's able to be absorbed by the body much easier. Now a very simple experiment I'd like to share with you is very simple. Now here, what I have here is a very simple green tea bag. Now what is the first thing we must do before we make tea? Of course, we have to boil the water. Now if you don't boil the water, what's going to happen? Now I'm going to take a very simple green tea bag, tear it open, and I'm going to put it in one of our cups here. Now here we have regular tap water that is not boiled, and what happens if I just put regular room temperature water into a tea bag? Does tea come out? Absolutely not, because we have to boil the water to break down the cluster so that the water can actually penetrate the tea bag. So without boiling the water, there's absolutely no way we can take tea. Now, same thing, I'm going to take the same tea bag, second cup, but this time I'm going to use regular room temperature Kangen water. Now let's see what happens here. Regular room temperature Kangen water, tea bag. This is where the magic happens. Take a look at this. Instant tea actually comes out. Take a look at this. I always get amazed whenever I do this. I've done this thousands of times, but it never ceases to amaze me. Now, a lot of people say, Simon, because the tea bag has already ran out, or now you wet the bag and now the tea actually comes out. So what I'm going to share with you once again, I'm going to take the same tea bag, put it back here, and I'm going to take your regular tap water again, and I'm going to pour it inside. You can see the tea color once again, right? Now I'm going to take the same tea bag, put it in the last cup, and put in the Kangen, in case some of you may wonder that maybe the tea has already ran out. Now let's take Kangen once again. Take a look at this. You can see when Kangen is added into the tea bag, the absorption rate or the penetration rate of the water, it's much, much higher. So of course, if you like to have tea parties, you will save a lot of money on your tea bags. But that's secondary. The number one thing that we can benefit from this property is how it actually hydrates our body. Now, if you're a stay-at-home mom, or if you're a very athletic guy, or if you're just some guy that's very active in the gym, whoever you are, right? If you want to really hydrate yourself or your kids when they go out to play, you need to hydrate them with the Kangen water. Because there's many books in the US that actually states a lot of sickness and chronic diseases are actually caused by dehydration. There's a very interesting book, it's titled, You Are Not Sick, You Are Actually Thirsty. So a lot of sickness are actually caused by dehydration. So by really hydrating our body with the Kangen water, what it actually does, it puts our body in an optimum state to actually detox and flush out all the toxins that are in our body to actually maintain our health at an optimum level. This is how the third property of the Kangen water actually helps you and your family in terms of optimum health. Now we learned about all the amazing properties of the Kangen water. Now if you decide to in the future, near future, invest in one of these machines, you're not only looking at producing one type of water. These Kangen machines can actually produce up to 5 types of water. Now for the purpose of this video, I'm going to show you the second most unique water that comes out from this machine. It is none other than what we call the strong Kangen water. Now what's the difference? The strong Kangen water is 100 times more powerful than your regular Kangen water. Now what is this for? It's not for drinking. Now let me ask you this. How do you normally wash your fruits and vegetables at home? Now here I have 1 pack of regular tomatoes, okay? Now I'm just going to open up this regular pack of tomatoes, 2 cups. I'm actually going to split the tomatoes into 2, probably 4 here, and another 4 here. So 4 each on 2 cups. Now if in your family you cook a lot, you like to eat salads, vegetables, you want to be healthy, you have to pay attention to what I'm going to show you here. Now here I have your regular tap water, which is how we always wash our fruits and vegetables. Now in this glass, we actually have the strong Kangen water, okay? Now, number 1, I'm going to pour it into the tomatoes to try to wash with the regular water, okay? Number 1. Now number 2 right here, this is none other than the strong Kangen water. Pour it into the tomatoes, okay? Now, we're going to leave this to soak for a while. So we know that this one is the tap water, this is the Kangen water. Now, let me divert your attention to these 2 cups while those tomatoes are soaking. Now, what I have here is a bottle of pure sesame oil. Now, you may be wondering, what is this guy trying to do? Oil, tomato. It will all make sense to you in a while. Because whatever that I'm going to show you here is going to explain to you what's happening right here. Now, I'm going to pour a little bit of oil in the first cup, a little bit of oil in the second cup, okay? Now, as we know, if I'm not a magician, that's why if I try to mix water and oil, what's going to happen? We all know from common sense that water and oil never ever mixes. Oil actually goes up to the top. Now, right here, we have the strong Kangen water, oil, but take a look at what happens. You see that? We're actually able to emulsify the oil. Now, why am I showing you this? What's the connection between these two? Now, we know today all our fruits and vegetables are actually covered by harmful pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, and many other chemicals that farmers actually put on our vegetables and produce. Now, the reason I'm showing you the sesame oil test is very simple. Because today, if you're buying vegetables from the wet market or the supermarket, all of them are covered with pesticides. Oil-based pesticides. Now, why did the farmers use oil-based pesticides? Very simple. Because farmers, they are very smart as well. They know water and oil never ever mixes. So if you have oil-based pesticides on all your vegetables in the farm, even though it rains in the farm, can the rain actually wash away the pesticides? As I've just shown you here, water and oil simply doesn't mix. So when you have oil chemicals in the vegetables, it simply doesn't wash away from the farm all the way to your supermarket, and in the end, in your cooking pan and into your system at the end of the day. So there's no way of actually having your tap water washing away pesticides. And you saw what our water did, the Kangen water did to the regular oil, right? It breaks down the oil. So let's take a look at the results from these two tomatoes. I'm going to take 2 empty cups. Now this one is basically the one that's been soaking in your regular tap water. Now let's soak it, rinse it a little bit and see what comes up. Nothing much, maybe some dirt, some sediments, things like that. Now here we have a tomato soaked in your strong Kangen water. Now take a look at this. Oh my gosh. Take a look at these two samples. You can see this actually brought out all the harmful oil-based chemicals from your tomatoes. Now there is this book written by the American Anti-Cancer Institute. It's called Killing Cancer, Not People. Now in this book, they actually reveal pesticides like this are actually the #1 silent killer in the world. Because pesticides actually has carcinogen-based chemicals. Now where else would you find carcinogen? In your cigarettes. Now today, people want to be healthy. People want to eat salads, they want to be healthy. But what are they eating with their healthy vegetables at the end of the day? Poison at the end of the day, right? So this is what many doctors, many institutions, many consumer rights people all around the world have been talking about. We have to eat clean fruits and vegetables, right? So what this water does, we're one of the only machines in the market able to remove all these oil-based chemicals from your water. And this is why if you cook a lot at home, if you want to be healthy, if you want to eat clean fruits and vegetables, tasty, fresh, you need to use the Kangen water to wash all your fruits and vegetables.